I'm Hanokh,
And I'm Lacandor.
and this is...
It's comic book night. Comic book night.
I don't even know where I am anymore. What are we doing? Who are you?
so yeah, I guess we start with the news.
Another week?
Brand,
Yep.
yep, brand new Batman cartoon.
And you're just out of the gate tonight. Yes, we have... So they've been yakking about this thing for over a year now. The Beware the Batman cartoon just had its first... what did Cartoon Network call it? Thrills montage? Sizzle reel.
I didn't
Sizzle
watch
reel.
it.
Huh?
I didn't watch it.
You should. Well,
I'm
you've
gonna.
seen the images.
I'm probably gonna watch the cartoon.
I watched the sizzle reel. I like that they're going with the old school logo. I just, I mean, okay, so this is like similar CGI to Green Lantern, the animated series, but maybe it's just because it's not my Batman, but
Right.
I just don't like the art style. I'm hoping the cartoon can win me over, though.
Yeah, Batman looks a little weird.
He does. I mean, like I don't want to call it sizzle reel. The trailer. The trailer has some really good like action scenes. Like it showcases the fighting, which was supposed to be a big deal in this. And I enjoyed the fighting. It had
Mhm.
kind of a Spider-Man feel to it because he was like bouncing off the walls. But I mean, it was okay. There was no Katana though, so I'm
What?
assuming it's going to start. Well, Katana's supposed to be a
Mhm.
sidekick in this.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, well, there you go. Now you do. Yeah, Katana's supposed to be his sidekick in this, and
Weird.
like a teenage Katana.
Still
Uh,
weird.
yeah, they want to go for they're highlighting the lesser known enemies, and
Well, good. They need to give him a
I'm
new.
guessing they're not starting off with Katana in the series because there was no Katana in the trailer.
Let's just go ahead and put a different personality on Katana that doesn't belong, just like the Katana comic.
Well, Greg Weisman's involved in this, who from of course Young Justice fame as well as Gargoyles and Spectacular Spider-Man.
I never
So
watched Spectacular Spider-Man.
it was good. Of course, Gargoyles is amazing and Young
Of
Justice
course.
is amazing. So I'm hoping that the writing will save this.
Gargoyles, though, had Keith David as the voice of Goliath, so
Oh
it didn't
man,
have a choice.
remember that junk version of the junk not Batman live action series, The Cape? Remember that
Yes.
him in it? And I remember watching the first episode, going, "Oh my gosh, that's Goliath from
Yeah.
Gargoyles." I was hooked on the show. Like they hooked me on the show the moment I heard his voice.
Yeah.
But hopefully, unlike the Cape, this Batman will be good.
Yeah, it starts on Cartoon Network on July 13th.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me
Hopefully, it's
too.
awesome. All right, and then you got this next piece of news because I haven't seen.
I'm gonna group all three of these kind of together.
All right, give me your rundown. You've seen the movie, I haven't, but this is like super duper spoilers. Since I guess that's the thing now. What are we at? We will tell you. Uh, we will tell them when we're done talking about the spoilers. So just keep skipping till you hear us talking
Super,
about
super
else.
duper. This is a spoiler podcast. You can't not get spoilers in the
Yeah, but you can't
podcast.
expect them to have seen. Uh,
Okay. Spoiler, Zod dies.
well, there we go.
That's the only thing I want to talk about that happens in the
All
movie.
right, all right. So spoilers, that
I'm
dies.
not
Oh,
going to tell you how he dies.
oh, come on, come on. I wonder who kills Zod. Was
All
it
right,
was it the Penguin? Was
you're,
it
you're right.
Lois Lane?
You're right. I'm sorry. Superman kills Zod.
Okay.
All right, so here's the deal. Man of Steel was amazing.
Oh, so you're in the amazing camp.
The best Superman anything I have ever seen.
That makes me happy.
It was awesome.
Hmm.
And so I read a couple of reviews, and people hate this movie.
Well, their whole complaint was the whole Superman doesn't kill things.
I'm sorry. Superman destroyed whole universes to try and bring Lois Lane back to life.
They point to different incarnations. Sometimes Superman's killed in comics, sometimes he hasn't. But I'm
Wiped
starting.
out whole universes.
And I mean, listen, you can't tell me that nobody in Metropolis has ever died, has not ever died from a Superman supervillain fisticuff battle, and that's an innocent person. So,
Yeah, so this movie was awesome. Well, okay, I could have, another spoiler, I could have done without the Superman birth scene at the beginning.
oh, was it like?
Um, it wasn't graphic, but fake woman screaming out as she gives birth. Um, you know.
Was she in a? Was she in hay? In a field with three wise men coming?
Kind of.
Because I heard that I've heard that there's a big Superman Christ metaphor in this movie. Would you say that you got that?
Oh, I knew that was coming. I knew somebody was going to say that because, yeah,
I mean, there's always been a bit of a Superman Christ metaphor.
It's only there if you want it to be.
Yeah. So you don't think it's like Mel Gibson heavy-handed or anything?
No. And I knew as soon as I saw the one scene where he has his arms outstretched that someone was going to say that.
He always does an arms outstretched scene.
Yeah, and it's just not true. I mean, it's Superman, so it's a new Superman. It's a reboot of Superman, and I mean, it didn't change him at all. He's still Superman. It's just a new. Let's start over from the beginning until Superman.
Right.
And I just don't understand why people are so angry about it. And like the one review I read said that they didn't like the movie because it wasn't colorful enough.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. And they also called it destruction porn.
It's Superman.
So you've got Superman, and he is
fighting.
fighting.
In the 1940 serials, he would destroy things. I watched a little Superman short where they had him like lift up a train and toss it at somebody.
So they have Superman, and he's fighting General Zod. So they're both Kryptonians.
Right.
They're both on Earth.
Right.
They both are superpowered.
Right.
They are punching each other.
Okay.
Guess what happens when they fight in the middle of a city full of skyscrapers?
They get punched through them. Typical Superman stuff.
Yeah, but let's call it destruction porn. And I also...
How is it any different than, like, Avengers?
Okay, that's my last news thing. Someone now estimates how much damage is caused during a movie if it was real, and they estimated the damage in the Superman, Man of Steel movie would have been $750 billion compared to the $160 billion that took place in Avengers.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, somebody has way too much time on their hands. And as a comic book nerd, that's saying something. Second of all, what? I mean, when did we start caring about that in a movie? I mean, it's a Superman movie.
It's fun to me that someone has calculated how much damage it costs.
But are they using that as like a negative towards the movie, or is it just there?
It's just
like, is it supposed to? Am I supposed to interpret that as, look how bad the Superman movie is because it destroys more fictitious property than other movies?
Well, the last one I think was just meant to be humorous.
Okay then.
Whereas the first two were like this, like the title of the one thing is the S on Superman's chest stands for sucks. I mean, this guy really hated the movie.
So was it just a bunch of nitpicking nonsense?
And I didn't get it. Like, I can't.
Like, can you give me a major complaint other than the whole Zod kill thing?
He didn't like the pseudoscience.
What?
He didn't understand it.
It's pseudoscience.
I would also like to point out,
nobody complained about the cosmic cube in the Avengers today.
Okay. So this is
unlimited energy. It's like free energy.
This movie is the reimagining of Superman 2, right? This is Superman 2 all over again. If you've ever seen the original Superman movie.
Yeah, with Christopher Reeve.
So Superman 2 is the one where he fights Zod.
Right,
and
right,
and
right.
Zod and
He
his
killed
people.
before Zod.
Right. In fact, the one woman character from Zod's team actually looks a lot like the woman from the Superman 2 movie, and
Okay, so
they had a big hulking guy on their team, only he
so
wasn't.
it was like a bit of a homage to it.
Yes. And
I
so
mispronounce that. Homage,
um
homage. I should have
homage.
said homage. Shut up. Keep going.
And I wasn't gonna say anything. You're the one
I
that said.
realized you start chuckling. I heard the half chuckle. I know what that
So
means.
so the same things happen in this movie.
Mhm.
Zod and his people are imprisoned in the Phantom Zone.
Mhm.
They escape from the Phantom Zone. They have to send them back to the Phantom Zone. So the means that they do that in this movie, I thought was awesome and made sense to me.
What was their Phantom Zone? Did they use the Phantom Zone device like the other Supermans?
Okay, you really want big spoilers, you're asking me here.
Oh,
The
fine.
Phantom Zone device gets destroyed when Krypton explodes. That's how
Okay.
Zod escapes.
Okay.
Okay, so when they go to Earth,
Mhm.
the engines that their spacecraft use are based off the Phantom Zone technology.
Okay.
So they crash Superman's ship into their ship to override or to overload the two engines, and they create a resonance field that opens back up the Phantom Zone.
Okay.
Yeah, he hated that. He thought it was stupid. They turned Superman's vehicle of salvation into a bomb.
What?
Yeah, apparently he thinks Superman never does any damage to anything and never fights anything.
What?
Yeah.
Even that's not even his ship. That's what he's complaining about is how they used his ship.
He doesn't like that Superman is violent in this film.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, he fights supervillains. It's
Yeah.
gotta be violent. I guess he's just so used to like Superman the animated series where they can't show blood, you know? So Superman could just keep pounding something until its face got weird, but there
No,
would be no blood.
I don't think this guy would have liked that either. I don't know what he watches that has Superman in it, but when does Superman not punch people? I thought that was
Maybe
his
he just
go-to.
read those PSA comics, the ones where Superman's like, you know what? No, because he's violent in Golden Age. Because Golden Age Superman used to just give long-winded speeches, but then I remember what Golden Age Superman was like.
And I mean it's like when Hell showed up in the comics.
Right.
And he doesn't even get 2 words out of his mouth, and Superman's already punching him in the face.
Well, it's like when we find out this week when we get to Supergirl where she's trying a new approach of not punching things at first. We'll get to that, but that was a good line. So overall, though, would you recommend the movie?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's written by Chris Nolan and David S. Goyer, who wrote the 3 Batman movies.
Now, I remember hearing that Nolan disagreed with the way the ending went.
Yes, but he changed his mind.
Oh, how did he want the movie to end?
He wanted Zod to go into the Phantom Zone, not get killed by Superman.
Oh, so they could bring him back out if they wanted to later.
Well, he didn't want Superman to kill someone that directly.
Right. The other ways are allowed, where you drop a house on them or something.
But what I really liked was that this whole movie is a lot like Smallville.
Yeah.
Everything is Superman learning what it means to be Superman.
Right.
So everything is a major. I mean, it's a movie, so they're not going to show you the boring parts. But so everything in the movie was a major. How should I react to this? And so
Now,
what I liked was they do not do here's an hour of the movie where he's a kid. Instead, all the kid scenes are flashbacks, and they just give you a exclamation point on the moral dilemma he's facing.
It's like Passion of the Christ.
Okay, so it's been too long since I've seen that to remember that, but
Remember during because the entire movie is like pretty much Jesus' torture and crucifixion, but Mel Gibson interspersed that with major scenes from the Gospels.
all right, then it's probably the same thing as that. And
see, Christ metaphor. See, you see, it's there. You just were too ignorant to see it.
yeah, well, no, I saw it. There's a scene, major spoiler.
Okay, we're done. We're done with the spoilers. I don't
where
we're
Superman
still going apparently.
where
Okay.
Superman punches a hole in the side of the ship,
Yes.
and Jor-El is there
Yeah.
as a projection and tells him that he can save the human race if he so chooses to use his powers that way. And so he does the whole thing that people do when they dive off of something, and he holds his arms out to his sides, straight
Right.
out, and then
Right.
falls backwards out of the ship.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm like, oh, people are gonna say he's trying to be Jesus Christ in this because he's standing like he's on a cross.
Oh man.
Um,
I heard some Christian groups were using this movie in some way, but I didn't read the article.
yeah, my friend who went with me said that this movie and After Earth both got good reviews on the site he goes to.
Like
So
a Christian site or something.
yeah.
Okay. Hmm.
Uh,
Um.
But yeah, it was excellent. It was excellent. If you like your superheroes to be superheroes, and you like your Superman to have to struggle with being Superman, then this movie's for you. If you like your Superman to be the I'm immortal, invincible, and nothing can touch me, then you're not gonna like this movie.
All right. So, oh great. Now I have to look at what we're doing. Moving along here because I'm very professional.
Well, the next one was I never read it, but there was a Justice League International
Back in the 80s.
back in the 80s that apparently was like a sitcom version of the Justice League.
They had some funny bits.
Well, the way the article read, it was
Right, right. Well, they emphasize. I think the whole point is they said the author said that they had their darker moments in that series too, but
yeah, but for the
this
most
team
part, it
has
was
reunited. Apparently,
they're
one of the
not, though.
writers will be writing Larfleeze #1 too. It says.
This is gonna be the Justice League.
Hmm.
'Cause what we're talking about is Justice League 3000 is coming out in October.
Right.
Or no, that's Superman and Wonder Woman that's coming out in October. I don't know when Justice League 3000 is coming out, but just
In the future.
in the future. And it's gonna be
Get it?
it's
Because it's in the year 3000.
I get it. It's gonna be a group of superheroes who are Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, the Green Lantern. I can't remember who else on the team, but it's basically the Justice League only in the year 3000.
They're being coy about how they're related to the originals, if they're descendants or something or another. I'm leaning towards descendants. They've done this before.
Yeah, this is probably. I mean, it could be awesome. Knowing knowing what little I know about the Legion of Superheroes, I'm hoping this is going to be the team of masks who rebel
Well,
and
I think
start the league.
I don't know because they said they said that they don't want to tie this into Legion at all. They're saying they want to they
Right,
really
but
emphasize that point.
do they mean they don't want them to cross over with the current members?
I think they're going to posit this because they hinted towards something happening at the end of Legion of Superheroes that throws their continuity into whack. So
Right.
I'm assuming this might be an alternate version of the future.
Yeah, I don't know. But
That's what I'm leaning.
the pictures of the new characters look pretty awesome.
I like
Well,
their Wonder Woman.
the Batman looks like the Batman from Earth 2.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. But the Green Lantern looks awesome.
The Flash is a little weird. He's got like a bandito mask on his head and goggles.
Yeah,
Um,
the mask thing was funny. But if this takes place on Earth,
yeah.
this is gonna be the destroyed future that Kid Flash come back from.
That is a very real possibility. I didn't think of that. Well, either way, I'm interested. They've
So,
done the future thing before with DC 1 million, which was supposed to be pretty good. So
but you know how I like post-apocalyptic stuff. So,
I know anything with post-apocalyptic automatically gets a read from you.
yeah, like The Last of Us. Awesome game.
All right, so we don't spend the rest of our lives here on news. We got one more piece of news, which you already kind of mentioned. This news makes me kind of sad. Apparently, the amazing romance that is
Days of Our Lives, the comic book, starts in October.
the amazing romance that is Superman and Wonder Woman warranted its own ongoing series. Never mind they canceled Frankenstein. Captain Atom. I haven't forgotten Captain Atom, and I won't. But this comic needs to exist, apparently. A Superman and Wonder Woman team-up series, which they, in the article, say... Well, look at the first cover. The first cover of this is them in a thunderstorm, leaning down and kissing one another. So that tells you what this comic's going to be about.
It
Like
says
you
in the
said.
article, them making out in thunderstorms.
For fans who may be worried, that this is from the article, for fans who may be worried about how the budding romantic relationship might affect either Superman or Wonder Woman's characterization in the New 52, this person promised on Twitter that Diana won't be downgraded to a mere girlfriend who needs rescuing in the title. This will follow the exploits of DC Universe's most powerful power couple as they fight crime and make out in thunderstorms. I really have never cared for the Superman and Wonder Woman. I always felt that was forced. I always felt that it didn't really make sense with their characters, other than the fact that they have superpowers.
I'm honestly surprised Batman doesn't off them.
He talked about it already. So, yeah, I'm not looking forward to this. Maybe. I can't even say maybe. Usually I like to say maybe it could be good. I can't see how this could be good.
I'm looking more forward to this than I am to Larfleeze. That's not saying much, though.
Yeah, well, the writer's from the writer from Swamp Thing.
Right. Yeah, it had good writers.
So, I mean, it has good writers, which gives you that glimmer of hope, but I hate this premise so much.
I'm just afraid it's going to be like that Valentine Day story.
Oh, gosh. Forgot about that until you brought that up again.
Superman and Wonder Woman on a date, and then do they fight something in that? I can't even remember.
Who cares?
That whole Valentine comic wasn't very good, if I remember right.
There was like one that we enjoyed, if I remember right.
Like the Batman comic was all about Batman and Catwoman ripping their clothes off of each other, and it was just weird.
Okay, so let's start the comics.
All right, our first comic this week is
First of 50.
Yeah, there are only 10 this week.
There are 50 comics.
It's only 10.
Was it really only 10? Next
yeah.
week, 15 though. Look, I keep jumping ahead, man. I'm just keep jumping ahead.
Yeah, next week there's 14. So, so Animal Man.
I really like this week's Animal Man.
I don't know. It's
set up for the next story arc.
I miss Rot World.
You gotta let it go.
Rot World was so amazing.
Well, I like what they're doing with Buddy's character. I like what they're doing with the family. I enjoyed.
It was good.
It wasn't anything. I would say, I enjoyed it. It wasn't over. There was really no action to this, which is always sad. But I enjoy good character scenes. I have a special place in my heart for really good character scenes, and I felt that this comic had a lot of really good character scenes.
I prefer character death scenes.
You and Grant Morrison, apparently.
I prefer good death scenes.
True. Well, I'm trying to think here. Oh well.
I think
you and
comics,
whoever did justice.
I think comics need to focus more on the exciting things that are happening and not have so many Buddy Baker sitting in a motel room feeling sorry for himself like he's been doing for the last 3 comics.
Yeah, well, he kind of pulled himself out of the funk this week. I think it's only been like 3 now, including this, but really 2.5. But
2.5 is one too many.
Well, I enjoyed. So the premise is, we're coming again. The whole big deal was a couple issues ago. Buddy Baker got stripped of his extra Animal Man powers.
Right.
And then we find out that he did. His wife kind of left him. I don't know if they're technically divorced, but they're separated right now.
Right.
After the death of their son, because she just can't stand him right now because of the whole trauma.
It's okay, he's coming back.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So then he became a movie star and did his own little sitcom thing.
Well, he was doing that before.
Right, and so he did the sitcom where he lost his powers totally and blah, 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 and so it's been winning awards. And so he wants to get back in the field because, like you said, he's been in depression.
Well, the sitcom is I don't think he lost his powers. The sitcom is about a guy who becomes a superhero. It has nothing to do with him as Animal Man. It's him just as an actor acting out a
Okay.
part.
Um, but anyway, so it gets a lot of awards,
Yeah, he's up for best actor.
and so he decides to put on the Animal Man costume, go save some cats. I kind of got annoyed by the whole Twitter aspect in this comic. Did you?
It made me laugh.
A little bit. I don't know. Maybe it's just my.
Way to spell preposterous.
Just gets kind of irritating Twitter. But they had this like Twitter thing going on, and so he goes to save some lady's cats, and she tweets about how
It was
animal.
overdone.
Yes. Well, it had like 50 tweets to read. God, I hate
It
even saying that word.
I didn't like the beginning with all the tweets.
Right. Most of them were pointless. It was just to set up some kind of scenario.
Like some of it made me laugh because I'm on the internet and I know what people act like on that stuff, and so like the one where he's like
They did capture Twitter fairly well.
he
I
needs
will.
to get over his dead son. How can you be so cruel? I'm supposed to care about a kid with a mullet.
Uh,
But but they didn't need a tweet on every single
is
panel.
that good character death right there?
But they didn't need a tweet on every panel. It was too much. I did enjoy Maxine in her Animal Girl costume,
Yes. I,
telling the Red.
that's the other side plot that's going on. While so well, let's finish up the Animal Man part. So Animal Man kind of gets overloaded by his power as he goes to try to save these animals because there's a whole bunch of dead ones, and confronts some kind of weird animal creature that seems to disappear. He runs out of the warehouse, the abandoned warehouse that he was in, and reporters are swarmed over the place. So I'm really hoping the monster reappears and starts attacking the innocent bystanders.
I kind of like that part of it where he's famous
Hmm.
as an actor, and they followed him on Twitter and figured out where he was at, and the media shows up as he's fighting this. Um, what's the word I'm looking for?
Chimera? Chimera?
Is it Chimera I want? Probably.
Probably.
Um, this Chimera creature, which is made up of bits and pieces of all these pets and zoo animals and stuff. Maybe a little human in there too. I can't actually. Well, he's got a human hand, maybe. I don't know. It could be a monkey hand. I have no
Said,
idea.
what are you doing in my factory?
Yeah,
And
but
then he says that's the only thing he said to him so far before he disappeared.
right. So I don't know. It sounds like there's going to be a bunch of them because it says the hidden horror of the Splinter Folk next.
Right. Um. So then the side plot is, well, I mean not the side plot, but the other plot going on is, they foul, his wife is staying with her mother, who was around during all the chaos, and his daughter believes that she could bring her brother back to life.
Well, she doesn't believe it. She knows it.
She's going to go into the red and get her power back. So she meets up with Shepard, who says the totems are willing to talk to her. I love the scene with her arguing with the totems.
It
It's
wasn't
really quite fun.
wasn't so much an argument as this is what I'm gonna do. It's a 4-year-old too, which cracks me up.
Our queen, I love this. Our queen, you have returned. We are so pleased to see you. Yeah, and I don't like how you wouldn't talk to me until now. I thought I was a boss around here. Please understand, Maxine Baker, your role is symbiotic with ours. You represent us on Earth, and one day you will join us here in the Parliament of Limbs at the heart of all life. But recent events have shaken the three elements to their core. We had much to discuss, much to ponder, but now we feel we are ready to proceed. I don't even know what you just said.
Yeah, but she's gonna bring her brother back. I said that way back before.
Yeah, this is her thing. So they give her some more
Well,
about
she brought herself back, so I'm pretty sure she can handle bringing somebody else back.
right. She's like, can't you just talk normal? Look, I still want to be animal. Because they tell her, like, should we take the powers away from you like we did Buddy Baker? Look, I still want to be Animal Girl, if that's what you're asking. I'll do whatever I need to do to save people and animals and everyone. I'll let you teach me whatever you need to teach me, but you got to do it at night when I'm supposed to be asleep, or else my mom will get mad. And you got to let me look for Cliff. And I want Socks and Shepard to help. Deal? They look at each other. It is so, Maxine Baker. She's like, sweet.
Yeah.
I just really love that scene.
Yeah, it was good. I don't know. It's not as good as Rat World.
No, I'll definitely give you that. And so that's it for that issue. Oh,
Oh, don't forget your 52 channel backup thing. The top 5 conspiracy theories about who Bruce Wayne is or what he was doing. Number 5, he never left Gotham and was in hiding writing conspiracy theories about alien abductions. Number
number
4, he traveled back in time to meet um,
and meet the
who's,
alien at first contact,
who is Booster Gold.
which is our hint for what's coming up here.
No, no, that was in the that was in one of the earlier issues about how Gotham celebrates alien contact every Halloween, and they dress up as Booster Gold. That happened right after Booster Gold disappeared.
Oh, because of,
Uh, at the end of Justice League International, we just vanished.
oh, I forgot about that then.
And then number 3 was he actually died parasailing, and they use robot doubles to keep the stock prices up.
Number 2, Bruce Wayne used his fortune to travel the world and learn what it's like to have a real job instead of living off his inheritance. And the number 1 answer is Bruce Wayne is actually Aquaman. And then, of course, we have the stupid line, I voted for the one where he's really Batman. But I guess there's pretty much zero chance of that being the case. I hate that. I hate those things.
Yeah, there's actually 2 different ones this week.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Let me look here at the end of this comic.
Check at the back of... let me flip here. I think it's Red Hood. Yeah.
Is it? Well, we'll get to it when we get to Red Hood.
I didn't pay any attention to him, and then in Red Hood I noticed it was different.
Oh,
so.
yeah. Yeah, we'll have to, looks like Reverse Flash or something. All right, we'll get to that. So, next comic, Batman and Batgirl, number 21.
Batman and Robin, number 21, retitled to Batman and Batgirl. So I'm guessing next week is going to be Batman and next month is going to be Batman and Catwoman.
Probably.
But
the only
yeah,
comic that's still coping with the death of Damian.
Right. Yeah, so this one's Batgirl focused. I mean, Batman's in it, but it was more from Batgirl's point of view. And she's still dealing with the fallout of how she thinks she killed her brother. And
Spoilers, he's not dead. Sorry.
Yeah, we kind of told him that like last week or
Spoilers.
a week ago or a month ago. I mean, I keep saying a week ago. A month ago, comics come out once a month, and I keep saying weeks. I couldn't do this if I had to read 52 comics every week. Anyways, I kind of got off on a tangent there. So Batgirl's removed her bat symbol because she doesn't feel worthy of being Batgirl anymore. And so she's trying to get Batman's attention. So she shows up at places she thinks Batman's going to be, like a giant heroin bust, and he shows up, but he won't talk to her. And then she goes she goes and sits outside her dad's window and tells him things that she wants him to know. But of course he can't hear her while he cleans the gun he's going to eventually shoot her with. And because he wants to hunt down Batgirl. And so then she records Batman eventually
going nuts, and how she was able, then she confronts him in the Batcave, how she was able to sneak up on him and record all that, and to point out that he's basically a loose cannon on the edge. He tells her to get lost.
Yeah, and then she talks about the Robin suit and
offers to be Robin,
and he tells her to get out, and then she leaves, and they show Batman staring at broken glass on the floor with all his faces in it.
And next is Catwoman in Depression.
Yes.
I'm not really looking forward to that one.
I rather enjoyed this one.
I enjoyed this. It was good Batgirl characterization, good Batman, good Alfred, of course, as usual.
Right.
I even liked the cover. I thought that was really cool. It's Justice, blind, and the scales even.
Yep, it was really good. It was one of my favorite ones this week.
In the balance between life and death. Yep. So
next comic was Batwoman.
This was probably my favorite comic this week.
Really?
I I really liked the Killer Croc thing.
I found it boring.
Did you? Well, I don't know. I have to wait till we're done and really go down the list. But I really enjoyed this comic. I really like the hints we've had of Killer Croc, like his altercations with Katana, and then the hint that he was part of Roy Harper's rehabilitation.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that they raised him from I'm going to throw a rock at him.
I don't know. I thought this comic was kind of boring. It's just basically Killer Croc talking to people, and they give him a sword, and they tell him to kill Batwoman, and he goes out and he fights Batwoman, and then he goes home, and
Yeah, but what you're missing in between is the internal dialogue that he has.
but it
He
was
talks about
one giant internal monologue, and you know who does not have an interesting monologue? Killer Croc.
well, it was interesting to me at least because he comes off from the previous storyline where he got turned into his primordial kind of monster he's based off of, the Hydra, apparently, and he talks about how the experience with all that has left his mind clearer than it's ever been. Um, he gets told to lead their group of people who can change into other animals, like these mythical creatures, kill Batwoman. So he tries to, but then he stops himself, well, partially because he's going to lose. But he starts, instead of hearing the voice of Medusa anymore, he hears the voice of himself inside his human self from when he was a kid. You get the flashbacks to him getting beat, his backstory, and he eventually kills the person who told him to kill Batwoman and decides to run away with the girl he's fallen in love with.
Oh, who's pregnant with his child? Don't forget that.
Oh yeah. Is she? Is that the hint when he put his hand on her stomach?
Yeah, the silhouette of a pregnant woman with Killer Croc's hand on her stomach. I'm pretty sure that's what that means.
Okay. Well, I thought so, but I wasn't sure, completely sure. But I thought it was, I don't know, I liked it. It was a Batwoman focus, so I know that probably made you sad. Um, what did you think of the art?
I didn't like it.
I didn't really like. I know they play
It's
around with the panel
kind
design.
of
This one, it's kind of annoying to follow.
it's kind of like really old school layout and coloring and stuff.
It kind of has that like fantasy comic feel to it, like a Dungeons and Dragons comic. I feel like they've used this kind of
Yeah,
panel style before.
I don't know. Go back to Batwoman, please, because she's way more interesting than Killer Croc.
Yeah. Well,
This
I enjoyed it.
this is DC. Start doing more miniseries if you want to talk about other people. Stop taking over entire comics that belong
That's
to
true.
someone
I'll give
else.
you that. I like to see a miniseries based around Killer Croc.
Well, they
They
did one for Penguin.
that was amazing. We
They
love that.
they had the one-shot stupid Mr. Freeze story.
Don't talk about which was good until the end when we
No, it
found
wasn't. It
it
sucked.
was okay. I mean, it was just a normal Mr. Freeze battle till you found out towards the end what happened, and then it went off into La La Land.
Mm. But it was okay. I didn't think this comic was all that great.
Well, what did you think of Birds of Prey, which
Well,
is our next comic?
Birds of Prey was awesome.
But it had your favorite character in it.
Uh, yeah, and he was terrible in it.
He was terrible in it.
So Birds of Prey is the follow-up to Talon 8, which is Talon gets sent after Strix. And so yeah, he fights a little bit with Batgirl and locks her out, and then Strix dives into him, knocks him off a building. They hit the floor. She gets up, puts her sword to his neck, and then decides not to kill him and leaves. And then he immediately hops up, grabs a knife, and stabs her in the back because that's the kind of character Talon is.
Well, he was, he says, I
No,
would.
no, no, no. He's terrible, and I hate his comic, and I thoroughly dislike him.
His
And
his peoples are being held against his will.
right,
That's his
so
excuse.
so do I go get the people who can help extract them, or do I go try to
But
kill the
but
people?
Talon trusts no one. He's on his own.
Yeah, so that was pretty much the whole comic, and although I'm really confused by Black Canary kissing that dude.
I'm assuming there's gonna be some Team 7 mention here
I know
in
they've
the
been
next issue.
flirting, and maybe I'm supposed to recognize who this guy is when he took off his helmet, but you can't do
I
that in
didn't.
comic books because every time you get a new artist, their faces look different. So I have no idea who this guy is supposed to be, and I didn't think that they had enough of a
Connection to do it.
relationship, a connection to be making out in my comic, but
Comics.
my comic, you know.
Right.
But
Apparently this will be finished up in Talon number 5. It says to be concluded, so.
speaking of that, Talon number 9, um, they did a really good job in Man of Steel with Lois and Superman leading up to
Oh,
their kiss.
good.
Just on a side note.
On a side note there. Yeah, that was pretty much the comic. There's really nothing else to say. I wasn't too thrilled with it.
I liked it. I just, I enjoyed seeing Talon as the bad guy that he actually is.
I don't know. I found this
Well,
one fairly boring. I enjoyed Strix,
you've
but I
got
just didn't care about the plot.
you've got two Talons, right?
Right.
So the one Talon has his own comic,
Right.
and the other Talon is part of Birds of Prey.
Right.
So the Talon that has his own comic is not as good of a hero as the one that is on a team.
Well, this is like the Aquaman effect, right?
And she can't even talk.
That's true. That's true. And unlike Katana, she really doesn't talk.
And I totally would rather watch Strix in the Talon comic than whatever this other guy's name is.
Buddy Baker, no. Whatever his name.
Ah,
Yeah. So now we move
yeah.
to another comic,
Green Lantern.
which you didn't like.
No, I didn't. Green Lantern New Guardians. They've ruined my comic. Last
I don't
month
think
we
there
had...
was much to ruin. Okay,
No, I liked New Guardian a little bit. I did not like Dr. Phil St. Walker last month, and I don't like whatever you called this time.
Driving Miss Daisy.
So let's do the short rundown of Green Lantern New Guardian. The New Guardians say, hey, we don't know anything about the universe. Kyle, you're going to teach us. Kyle says, no, I got better things to do. Hal Jordan says, I'm in charge here. You will do what I say, and I say you will take them on a tour of the universe. And then they talk it out, and then they fight space sharks. Space sharks. Sharks flying in space, wrapped with weapons. And, yeah, it's retarded, as it sounds. And... then he talks to what's her name? Hal Jordan's girlfriend,
Carol.
who can only Carol.
Star
Yeah,
Sapphire.
she can only love Hal if she doesn't actually have to spend time with Hal, and if she doesn't love Hal, then she can't keep her ring. And so, because that's how it works, and because that's how the Green Lantern thing works. If you don't have a reason to have willpower, you can't keep your. Nope, that's not how it works, comic.
Actually, they have established that it does work, at least with the Blue Lantern Corps, that way. I remember there was one early issue with the battles of the Blue Lanterns. One of them loses hope,
Yeah, but
and the ring leaves them.
if you don't have hope, so Carol can't keep her ring that's based off of love. She's just gonna stop loving everything if she doesn't love Hal.
Well, I believe the whole point, it's like a romantic love is what powers the Star Sapphires. Like it's not like the love of nature or the love of humanity or the love of science. It's interpersonal connection love.
That's retarded.
Well, that's the Violet Lantern Corps. I believe that's been established already. So I still think it's stupid. Listen, I'm okay with the whole if she loses her love of Hal, that she can't have the ring. Okay, I think they've already previously established that. I think it's kind of stupid, but it's like whatever. Magic rings, fine. You want to make that the rule. What bothers me is the whole line where she's like, I've realized that I won't love Hal if I'm with Hal, and I can only love him when I'm away from him.
So she only loves the idea of Hal, so it's not even an interpersonal connection.
Right. That's the part that bothers me.
If you have magic rings and they're all supposed to be the same thing, then they all need to have the same rules.
Well, I mean,
hope. Losing hope means you don't have hope. So you're not going to have a ring that uses hope if you don't have hope. Which is why I don't understand the fear rings at all, because they don't have fear, they cause fear.
Well, I believe the rings get more powerful with the fear that they're able to cause.
You're
So
telling me Sinestro is the Yellow Lantern because he fears everything enough to the point where he can have a yellow...
no, they've established that their rings get power by instilling fear into others.
Okay, so it works different from every other ring in the Green Lantern
Oh,
swath. And those
basically.
Those knock people, their ring isn't even like that. Their ring is a prison.
Right. Well, they've established that some of the rings have a symbiotic relationship, and some of them have a more parasitic relationship, like the Orange Lantern ring.
So they shouldn't even be in the same comic because they're not related in any way.
Well, it's the motions. So I think this stuff's been previously established in the Green Lantern universe before the reboot.
I didn't read the previous Green Lantern.
Right. Which, of course, they rebooted the universe, but Green Lantern got a pass. So.
But so anyways, so you've got Carol talking to Kyle. Kyle decided to do what Hal told him. He goes out to take the new Guardians. Well, they're not the new Guardians. The new Templar Guardians on their. See, that's the thing.
Or walkabout.
It's called Green Lantern New Guardians because originally it was a team of lanterns, and now it's just Kyle, who's the White Lantern, because he's Tommy from Power Rangers. Because he was green and now he's white, and
reference.
Yeah, but other people might not get it. And so he takes them out to see this thing called the Anomaly that they think is a bubble from another universe.
Well, hold on. Before we get to the Anomaly, I should qualify.
That's immediately the next thing after the Carol thing.
No. I'm going back here for a second.
Oh.
He doesn't force Kyle. He repeatedly says, "I'm not going to force you. I'm not going to force you."
Right.
But I'm asking you.
I'm going to get
Kyle's
in your
no.
face, and I'm going to follow you, and I'm going to put a giant stop sign in your face, but I'm just going to talk to you. It doesn't work that way.
Well, I love how he's like, "I'm not going to force you," and I don't think I could.
I'm just going to annoy the piss out of you until you decide to do what I'm telling you to do.
And so he decides. But Hal's reasoning is Kyle doesn't trust the Lanterns. He knows what it's like to be burned by the Guardians. I mean, and so he's the perfect person apparently. And as a White Lantern, he's strong enough to stop them if necessary.
And he had better things to do, but no. Hal Jordan is now in charge of the entire emotional spectrums, and so they might as well just rip out everybody who's a leader because Hal's in charge.
Well, he is in charge of the Lantern Corps now, or they just put him in charge.
Except that Kyle's no longer a member of the Green Lantern Corps. He's the White Lantern.
I think he's still officially a member.
It's ridiculous.
I don't know. They don't really... I mean, the White Lantern has a corps, but I believe he still affiliates with... I don't know. Okay, so anyway. So yeah, the next thing is the Anomaly. That they said... They were locked into their little prison for like 1 billion years, wasn't it? Something like that?
I don't know.
It was a long time. And apparently, right before they got locked away, they stumbled onto this MacGuffin thing, this Anomaly thing, and then decided, now that we're out of our jail cells, we should go and check that out 1 million years later and see what it's up to.
Yeah, and so they get there, and it turns out that Kyle's ring, and using all his different power colors, breaks open the Anomaly. And guess who's inside? It's the First Lantern. Oh no, wait, this one's got a different name. Sorry.
This is a known villain. It's Relic.
Sure, I don't know who he is.
That's what it says at the end. It's Relic. And I forgot to wiki his back. I think I've read his backstory before, but I haven't wikied it, and they're probably going to rewrite it for this anyway.
But you remember when that guy awoke and started stealing all the planets and came, and nobody could stop him?
Right, that one dude.
And then you remember that group of people who were killing off all the lanterns and came and no one could stop them?
Yeah, I think I...
And then you remember that time when they released the First Lantern and he came and no one could stop him? This is seriously turning into Superman now, where he just fights someone from Krypton every month.
Except in this case, it's somebody who comes out of nowhere and nobody can stop him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I wasn't too thrilled with this. I mean, I didn't think it was the most horrible thing I've ever read.
It's not terrible, but it was trying to be.
It was, and definitely the inclusion of Hal and Carol did not help this comic.
I didn't even know who she was. I'm like, since when does Kyle hang out with Hal's girlfriend?
That's the other thing. Apparently she knew about this. Apparently he called her and said, "Man, Kyle's not doing what I want. Can you go nag him for me?" Anyway,
They don't even live in the same part of the country.
here's the other thing I don't like. I kind of like the premise of the Templar Guardians, and I like the premise of Kyle taking him on a walkabout.
I
And
don't like how they're dressed.
You mean how each one's a different science fiction or fantasy genre?
Yeah, that's just weird. Like, why would an alien species who've been trapped for millions of years in a prison
Dress up like steampunk?
dress up like an actual Knight Templar?
Because I don't know, but you know, it gives an interesting chance to talk about the nature of what it means to be a hero and leadership, and what the Guardians think and the Kyle Rayner thinks about different things. You can have that while kind of doing a walkabout. But what do? They go right from on Oa straight to this stupid thing.
That's gonna head back to Oa because we already saw that.
It's so much for your big. We have to check out the universe.
I already saw that he's coming straight for Oa because, apparently it's as important to everything as Earth.
And they're hinting towards them. And the big thing now is going to be the Green Lanterns have to regain their prestige in the universe. Because now we have the Guardians where Jon Stewart's like, why are they scared of us?
Now that's a story I could get behind.
See, and they could actually do that with their walkabout, going to these different worlds and encountering that and kind of things. But nope, we have to go straight to the next big bad guy. We can't pause for a moment. Well, no, we had our Dr. Phil moment. That was as close as we're going to get, apparently.
Yeah.
To a pause.
But yeah, this this comic I didn't think was very good this time.
No.
And then next we had Justice League of America's Vibe. I hate that title.
Just Vibe.
And it's Vibe and Gypsy part, I don't know, 2 or 3 at this point.
Right, with the inclusion now, Waller sicked the Suicide Squad on him.
Which was awesome, because I love the Suicide Squad.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the fight scenes. I enjoyed how they eventually captured Vibe and Gypsy. They were outclassed and outmatched, pretty much.
You don't smell fishy like King Shark. Harley just punches her and she's invisible.
Yeah, she could turn into other people, as a projection. Waller Man this week. How about Amanda Waller?
She's evil.
She is straight up evil, man, in this comic. Yep, he went against orders, sick the Suicide Squad, not known for their TLC, to bring him back, trap him in a cage, and now he's locked up to a machine, and he's going to face his worst nightmare next week before he breaks out.
Yeah, it was good though. This Vibe comic has been getting pretty good since he got away from being under JLA's control-ish.
And Amanda Waller. Amanda Waller is the villain of this comic.
Although it'd still be nice if they would lock down what the heck his powers actually are.
Right. Oh, you mean how this week apparently he has Wonder Twin powers with Gypsy where they could turn fully into this hands? Yeah, because they both vibrate and do things, so apparently you can combine that together.
Yeah.
Even though one's because he electromagnetically vibrates, and the other one's because of holographic projections and being from the universe. But apparently the two energy signatures can just overlap and cause real invisibility.
I also like the I'm Crowbar. I borrowed this crowbar the last time I went to see my sister, and it does special things. What?
Yeah. Crowbar, right? He hasn't been introduced yet.
Who's your sister? I don't know who you are.
Amanda Waller being special for this mission because my crowbar can absorb energy blasts and send them back at you. And then he literally overloads the crowbar. Because feedback effect.
Well, I'm flipping through here. I want to see that part where he talks about his crowbar. Not only my name, it's my B and E method of choice. Stole this little baby while visiting my sister back home. Does all kinds of fun things. Where did you get a magic crowbar from? Where's your back home? Who are you? Who's your sister? Why are you mentioning her?
I'm assuming it's supposed to be a teaser for the next Suicide Squad.
I don't know.
I'm assuming he's an existing character, maybe in the pre-52. So comic book fans are supposed to recognize Crowbar. So yeah, I can't take anybody seriously with the name Crowbar, with a magic crowbar that does magic crowbar. Then apparently there's a subset of magic super. That's like, I'm sorry, but when your Suicide Squad member could fit into Dial H, you have a problem. I can
No,
see.
no, no, no. This guy is better written than anything from Dial H.
Listen, if they just upped the cheese a little bit and got rid of his grittiness, he could totally be a Dial H style superhero.
Right, but they would have to take out the things that actually make him a fun, cheesy character to make him a Dial H character.
True. Actually, he has more of a complex backstory than most of the people in Dial H. Oh,
Yes, yes, he does, including the main characters.
ouch. All right. So, yeah, vibe was good. Amanda Waller's true colors have been revealed. Not really. She's shown this many times before.
Yes. All right, so the next comic is Legion of Superheroes, which is working its way down to ending.
Going back to the vibe for a second. Another connection. Remember how we jokingly said that Amanda Waller could possibly be Harvest?
Yeah.
Notice, remember that Harvest at the end of Legion Lost, he captured, of the Ravagers, he captured them and placed them in stasis pods.
Yeah.
And Amanda Waller is caging her people into like a stasis pod kind of thing too.
Yes.
So another proof. So yeah, what are we talking about now?
Legion of Superheroes.
Oh yeah, I read it. It's the continuation from last month and the month before, the Fatal Five. Basically, the Legion's systematically getting their butts handed to them.
Yes, by Tharok and the
Right.
Fatal Five.
Yep. And so it's winding down. They're hinting that something could happen at the very end to throw the Legion's very existence into question.
I know what it is. I know what it is.
What is it?
They're gonna digivolve.
uh,
That dude says he controls digispace.
Digispace, yes, he does.
I'm like, digispace?
They're
What?
gonna evolve into likable characters. Oh,
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Legion of Superheroes, and it is really too crazy for me to read. I don't think you can have 19 heroes in one
how many
comic.
speech bubbles was it this time?
19.
Nice.
And by speech bubbles, he actually means
Yeah.
Legion of Superheroes. Legion of Superheroes has these little info panels on every person that pops up that's a hero. So, like, just on the first page, here's 3 of them, and it'll say Brainiac 5, a.k.a. whatever his name is, what his homeworld is, what his abilities are, and and so when they do that, they do that for 19 different people in this comic, which means there are 19 different heroes. I'm supposed to figure out what's going on. But yeah, basically they're just all losing to, although there was Ghost, I think they're going to blow the horn from Wheel of Time and summon the ancient heroes. And
well, I don't know. There's something weird going on.
Well, there was 2 invisible kids in this comic.
Right.
One was an old invisible kid and one's a new invisible kid, I guess. I don't know. I don't think Legion rebooted, right? They just
no,
lost.
no, you're right. They didn't. Not really.
So they just lost contact with present day. That was the whole story of the Ravagers. They can't go back because there's something in between.
Not the Ravagers. Legion lost.
Yeah. I mean, Legion lost. But there's something in between the 2 times that won't let someone go back or someone go forward.
Right.
Although they do visit Superman for some reason.
Pick his nose or whatever.
Right. And so yeah, it was okay from what I could understand.
I just
Like, if it was written a little more
and there was 19 characters to keep track of.
cohesive, like, I could probably do the 19 characters.
True. Epic Fantasies does throw more at you. It's just none of them can get screen time. It's like set. They're like little set pieces. You know, you bring out these characters, you pull them away. You bring in this set, you pull them
Right.
away.
That's my issue with this comic, is that every 2 pages is a different group of people doing something totally different and often unrelated.
I can't care about these characters. And you know the thing is, this has been the Legion of Superheroes has like died and been rebooted like probably more times than any other comic. It seems like.
Yeah, I
Uh,
forget what version this is
at
on.
one point there was three separate versions of the Legion of Superheroes existing. They called it the three boot. Um, yeah, that's a legit term. I saw it on Wikipedia.
The
Uh,
three root.
it's called the three boot because there was three existing versions of it. Then they kind of smashed them all back together using Superboy Prime. But that's a tangent for another day.
I'll kill you till you're dead.
Okay. Let me give you the tangent. Like we'll wrap this tangent up in like 2 minutes, hopefully. So, there's three different versions, and then they had an event. Huh?
Do the short version.
Okay, there's a recurring bad guy in the Legion of Superheroes.
Do the shorter version.
There's a dude named Time Trapper who's had multiple origins.
Shorter.
Every time they reboot, his identity changes.
Shorter.
The last one was Superboy Prime, and then he punched himself.
It's basically this. They imagine that different writers can write heroes in different ways because they belong to different universes. And every so often they want to smash them back together. So that was one of those stories.
Yeah, but it's different because
with whiny Superboy Prime in the middle of it.
It's different because most of them don't have three continuities happening at the same time.
We're up to
smashed together. Two, usually. I mean, two were like 50, but not three ongoing comic. Like, each one of them had their own ongoing comic, too.
And then there was that one story where, Lois Lane died and Superman tried to kill everybody everywhere to bring her back to life.
You're talking about Justice?
That was
Gods Among Us? Talking about the video game?
No, I'm not.
Oh. That happened in the video game.
Oh, I don't know anything about the video game.
Well, not really. I guess that's really an oversimplification. All right. Okay, done.
Yeah, because we're getting long-winded here. Red Hood and the Outlaws.
Awesome. Don't tell me you hated this now, too.
No, I didn't hate this.
Good.
League of Assassins has taken Jason.
Hey, look, this one at least turns back into a normal person.
I was like, oh, it's another cat person. Oh, no, wait, that was the cat person from last time. Oh, he's not really a cat person.
And the amulet apparently takes a bit of his soul every time he transforms if it makes you feel better.
Yeah.
So the quick version is...
I was doing the quick version. You interrupted me.
Oh, fuck. On with your quick version.
League of Assassins takes Jason back to Ra's al Ghul's secret city and wants him to lead the League of Assassins against the Untitled. And Hugo Strange betrays Roy Harper to the Untitled, and Starfire talks to Essence. I couldn't remember what her name was. Talks to Essence, and she tells him what's going on. Well, that they're about to be betrayed, and so she rushes over to yell at Hugo Strange and try and get Roy to go with her. And Roy decides to go with the Untitled to try and save Jason. And Starfire leaves and says they'll meet up later sometime, maybe. She's going to find Essence and do it the right way.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. There's really anything to add to that. Fight scene was pretty good, where Jason was getting his butt kicked. It was nice to highlight all the different assassins that are pretty cool. Their giant underground city is pretty sweet.
With a giant statue of Ra's al Ghul in the middle of it.
Yep.
But it wasn't.
We haven't really seen Ra's in this universe, except for in Batman Incorporated, which,
No, he was in something we read last week. Remember?
When the woman failed in Superman, wasn't it? No. It was Batman. Which one of the Batmans was it? Dark Knight?
I don't remember.
It wasn't Batman, because that's 0 Hour. It was the Batman with the chick that you really like, who's going to maybe be Robin.
Yeah, hello? Detective Comics?
Yeah, okay, yeah, I think it was Detective Comics. And because they fought that Shadow Lady, and then she got sent back to Ra's.
Right. So this is the second nod to Ra's al Ghul. Well, I mean, you got the whole Batman Incorporated where Talia's the bad guy. I mean, that's a huge
We
nod
don't
to
count that.
Ra's. But
We,
yeah, it was good. This is more the style I like of leading up to the next major storyline.
mhm.
'Cause this one, I mean, we still haven't really hit the ground yet for where this story's going.
But there's been action and it's
But it's been progressing. And so I don't know. It was good. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't terrible. It wasn't my favorite comic this week by far, but
next.
Supergirl.
So this one, apparently Supergirl's dying of kryptonite poisoning
Right.
from her hell encounter, went to space, and has found an older version of the Collectors, aka like not Brainiac. Um, and they can, this is where they introduce Cyborg Superman. They're going to be giving him a new origin story. He gets his own comic and Villains Month, by the way.
Yep.
And
I was pretty sure that she just ran into those people that are in between Earth and Namek.
oh, the fake out place.
Yes.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like that. They
Well, because Superman and Superboy went there.
Oh, yep, yes, he did. um, so they're trying to win her trust, kind of, and that's pretty much the comic, was her being adored by the people of the hive mind consciousness, and Cyborg Superman appears at the very end.
Cyborg
That's
Superman
what
looks
she's going to do to get
pretty
kryptonite.
awesome,
He does look pretty awesome. I'm hoping he's not an idiot.
but
But he seems pretty smart.
I had to laugh. Yeah, because he's in charge. So
Right.
these might not necessarily be. I don't know if they're bad guys or not. I can't tell yet. I
Well,
don't think they're. I don't think they're good guys, but
right.
I think they might be more along the lines of like the Threshold people,
Right.
um, and not straight up.
They're self-interested.
Yes, yes. But I had to laugh when they're like, "Yes, we gather things from dying civilizations, and here's this statue head," and she's like, "Oh, that belongs to this one statue," and then they're like, "We can use your memories to reconstruct it," and there is no way that face belonged on that statue.
I know.
I'm like,
Uh,
okay, I'm like, okay, so you had this face, and you show it being merged into this new thing, but that's a woman, and I'm pretty sure that's the face of a man, and there are no men in this statue of a woman and a cat.
right. I thought it was going to be a man at first until he saw the woman. But yeah, so it was good though.
That part just made me laugh.
It's interesting. I want to see where it goes. I did like her whole. I'm not going to try punching things at first. I'm going to try to talk to it first, and then it punches
Yes.
her, and she goes into punch mode. So I like that a little bit. But overall, like a lot of comics this week, it wasn't terrible.
I've
It was
always liked the
decent.
Supergirl comic. I've thought this has been really good. I see Supergirl is more what I think Superman should be like.
I thought this was on par with the previous ones. I thought it was decent. I haven't found it to be very amazing, personally.
I've always, like I said, I've always liked it. Um,
And then we come to our last comic this week,
uh,
right?
yeah. Wonder Woman continues the story of the firstborn, and now they're actually together, and um, blah blah blah. I'm gonna make a bunch of sexist remarks. Now we're on New Genesis, and that's pretty much what happened.
I don't think it was as terrible as the previous ones, only because I
Uh,
got to watch the firstborn actually appear and start pounding people's faces in.
okay,
We actually got a little bit of action in this comic.
so you've got Wonder Woman and the firstborn and Linux and all those people on the docks,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, this is actually pretty good for the Wonder
Stunning.
Woman comic. And
And then dirt, 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 dirt.
and then Orion shows up,
Yes.
and then it's just
Hey,
all
baby.
downhill from there.
Hey, baby.
Hey,
Don't call me baby.
I wasn't calling you baby, your legs. And then Linux kills himself, maybe.
To save them, jumping through the boom tube, and now they're on New Genesis.
Yeah, in
Which
front
on
of
a
some dude
battle
I have
station.
no idea who
That
he
might be
is.
the new High Father, I think, maybe. I don't know, or just some commander. I don't know.
I don't know, he totally stole his outfit from Lady Gaga, though, or something.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't. I consider this.
I
Would you
think you
consider
could,
this decent, or is it still below decent?
if you take out all the pages with Orion in it,
It's decent.
it wasn't bad, but yeah, Orion makes it terrible. Or
It's terrible,
the
but
parts with
less
Orion
terrible.
are terrible.
The other parts, I enjoyed the Firstborn.
I honestly would rather have it be boring than have Orion walking around talking like that.
It was less terrible than he usually is.
He's another character who he's kind of like Vibes Powers, only with his personality. It changes every time I see him.
So overall, what was your favorite?
My favorite, probably, oh, I'm gonna have to go with two. Batman and Robin, or Batman and Batgirl, and Birds of Prey.
I'm gonna go with probably Batman and Batgirl, and probably Batman and Batgirl. Honestly, was probably my favorite. I did enjoy Red Hood and the Outlaws as a close second. What was your least favorite comic this week? Wonder Woman still?
No, New Guardians.
Really? I didn't. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to go with Wonder Woman. I didn't get as angry yet. New Guardians.
I I hated it because New Guardians used to be a good comic.
It's true, but I did think it was. I don't know.
When it was its own thing, and
Yeah, I remember. I
he was
remember.
gathering the team of different colors.
Yeah, it all went downhill with that first
Yeah, then the first Lantern
idiot,
sucked the life out of
first
everything.
idiot lifeline. So
Now we're on
I
the
don't know what
third first
I
Lantern.
got.
I
I
don't.
got. Green Lantern didn't make me angry. Wonder Woman made me angry.
Space
Orion.
Sharks and Hal and
See, that didn't make me angry. I
that
just
did
thought it was kind of stupid.
Space Sharks.
Sharks in space.
They're exactly what you think they are, sharks in space. No kidding, I can see it.
All right, so what's next week?
Next week we have All-Star Western,
Oh, yes.
Aquaman,
That should be good.
brand new Batman Superman comic.
I really enjoyed the previous one before the universe got rebooted. They've made two movies based on that line of comics, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Catwoman,
Possibly good.
Justice League. Do
Hmm?
we next month starts Trinity, right?
Yeah, so I think this might be a prelude.
Well, I know the cover for Justice League of America, which is also next week, shows a casket with people draped in an American flag.
Right.
Um, but yeah, so Justice League, Justice League Dark, and Justice League of America all come out next week.
Okay. I'm looking
Uh,
forward to Justice League Dark.
the brand new Larfleeze.
Hey, let's wait to judge it.
It's coming in prejudged. Um, that way, if it's just decent, I'll be pleasantly surprised. It's not going to be though. Red Lanterns, Superman, Talon.
Let's
Uh,
continue the strict storyline.
yeah, but still Talon. Teen Titans, The Flash, and the Green Team.
Ugh, the green team.
I
Well,
liked the Green Team.
I didn't really care for the green team.
I thought it was fun.
Uh,
It was funny when they did that suit thing and to grab that laser.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, that's about it, I think.
All right.
Uh, what are you supporting this week?
I don't know. What did I support last week? My new video card. So this week, I guess I'm going to support Godzilla
Why Godzilla?
because he's laying on the floor looking at me.
'Cause it's like, not the actual Godzilla.
Yeah, the actual Godzilla.
Oh, well.
The
I didn't
fif-
know you were so giant.
the 50th anniversary plushie with the roar when you squeeze his chest.
Does it still roar?
Oh yeah, yeah. My nephew, he squeezes it all the time.
What am I supporting this week? I'm supporting Minecraft because next week 1.6 comes out.
Does it?
Yep, they just announced it.
All right, so that means like 3 weeks we're gonna have to reboot our map again.
Yep, Minecraft. We're looking forward to that. So, all
Uh,
right, that's
all
about it.
right, like it if you like. Subscribe to be sure to catch the next one.
I'm glad you remember this week.
I did remember this week. I couldn't remember the title of the show, but I remember to say that.
All right, bye.
Bye.